what would be your tips for people that want to kind of expand their musical knowledge and then actually actively use that in their songs?
So the very first thing that comes to my mind is the most important thing. Learn music theory. Just do it. Like it's dry and it's boring and everyone hates it, but it's like it's completely the universal language, certainly in Western music, right? So if you know the basics of music theory, that gives you a way more efficient and precise way of discussing music with anyone. So like the amount of times where I'm in a studio doing a thing and the conversations take way longer than they need to take because someone else, I'll say, right, so we're doing 4 bars of that, are we? And they're like, well, what's a bar? Or how do I define a bar? Or what is my version of a bar? And it's like, well, it's this many beats. And they're like, well, what's that mean? I'm like, okay, right. So if we all knew that same thing, which, you know, I know it, so it sounds like I'm, you know, kind of up my own ass, but that's really simple stuff to learn, and it can be learned in 10 minutes. And if everyone did that, straight away your angles of communication is so much more kind of measured, precise, and you can just communicate what you're doing way easier. And so on from that, like learning music theory, like the basics of rhythm and the mechanics of music, and especially like harmonic functions, like how music works, how these things mean that you can do this, and learning that stuff straight away just gives you like autonomy. So, I mean, I don't want to like talk myself out of a job here, but I, and it isn't for everybody. I personally find it as exciting as other people find seemingly way more exciting things. But like knowing the basics of music theory just opens your whole world up, because you can apply it to such a broad range of things. And for example, if you know, let's say you have a song and you want strings on that song, if you know what the instruments are capable of doing, because like quite often I'll be in a studio and someone will give me, oh, we've done some strings for this, we just need it written out so that the string players can play it. And actually what they've written is utterly unplayable. Either it's too fast, either it's out of range, or it just doesn't sound very good. All of that, if you like learn what the instruments are capable of doing, and then secondly, how to write that down in a way that the instrumentalists can read and play, then you're like you've got so much more control over your own product. And it's a big ask as well, because learning music theory can be time consuming if that's not how your mind works, which not everyone's does, and I understand that. But like, as soon as you've like learned those processes, you can do it yourself, you know. And then also once you've learned those processes, you suddenly realize so much more about how music works and the complexities that they can contain. And also like once you've learned like one set of mechanics, your brain is then sort of hardwired to understand slightly more. And then you start understanding, you know, like more varied forms of rhythm or harmonic progression. Because, you know, like there isn't just minor and major. There are modes, and then there are also a million other things which branch off from those. Yeah, so like I think if you learn the basics at least of music theory, that helps you communicate with other musicians, which means you can add things to your music in a much more efficient way. But if you carry on further into that, so you're sort of learning the basics of composition, then all of a sudden your music is just going to have so many more colors to it. You know, like there's loads of great music that is in its own sense and like through its simplicity beautiful, but it's all black and white. And, you know, I feel like learning music theory and composition allows you to just click everything into full Technicolor. So that's my number one.